Hello. There is no doubt that Cormac McCarthy has been my most important and greatest bookish literary discovery of 2024. It's the first time that I've ever read any McCarthy novels, and I have found myself completely engulfed and completely engaged in almost everything that I have read from him this year. It's been the most interesting and engaging reads that I have done in a very, very long time. I am currently reading The Crossing, number 2 in the Border trilogy. And as I was reading this just the other night, I was thinking about what is it actually about McCarthy's writing that just makes it so impactful and effective for me as the reader when I consume it. There is a great emotional engagement that I experience when I read his novels. And I was really trying to contemplate and figure out why that is. And there are multiple things that is going on, of course. His narratives and his plots are, to me, very interesting. His characters are usually great. He has some very sharp descriptions. He has some interesting thematics, and there are many things that is going on. But most of all, what I find is the most important thing about his novels that I find is the root cause for this engagement is his writing style. And then I was thinking, what is Cormac McCarthy's writing style? Because he has actually quite a different writing style in each of his novels. And he also combines different writing styles, sometimes within each of the novel. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what is it that this writing style is, how does it work, and why is it creating this strong engagement, at least for me, and I think also for a lot of other readers. Now, The Crossing is the 5th book that I'm reading this year from Cormac McCarthy. The first book I read from him was Blood Meridian. And this is, of course, considered by many his magnum opus, by some considered the greatest novel ever written. It has certainly been the greatest novel I have read this year. And right now, I think it's also the greatest novel I have ever read, period. If we look at writing style in Blood Meridian, this is also where his writing is the most extreme. The prose in Blood Meridian is extremely eloquent. What he's doing with his writing is he's crafting these very long sentences that he is combining. He doesn't use punctuation, and he combines a lot of words together using the word "and." So you get this very long sentence that is just drags on and on, using "and" to sort of keep the sentence and the syntax together. Combined with landscape descriptions that are just out of this world with vivid imagery. Images just pops into your mind very easily, very frequently, and very sharply when you read his landscape descriptions. In fact, I think some people talk about landscape as being even a character. You know, you can think of the landscape sometimes as the main character in some of McCarthy's novels. He also uses esoteric language. He uses archaic words. He combines words together that are not usually put together, and that just gives a different flow, a different syntax, a different rhythm to the way that he writes. On top of that, in Blood Meridian and in all of his novels, there is an incredible sense of time and place. McCarthy's novels are very well researched. Blood Meridian, I found out after actually reading an excellent book called Notes on Blood Meridian. I found out that most of the narrative development and the plot in this novel is actually surprisingly historically accurate. And one of the key source materials for this book was Samuel Chamberlain's My Confession. And Samuel Chamberlain was perhaps the inspiration for The Kid. And he was a part of Glanton's scalp hunting gang. Of course, the characters and the events are magnified and put into the extremes by the way McCarthy writes. But all of the, key plot points are actually historically true. Glanton, the scalp hunting, the contract with the Mexican government for hunting and scalping Comanche Indians, Glanton's complete disregard for that and his blatant and violent and murderous hunting down and killing of peaceful Indians, of Mexicans, and basically everyone else that got in his way is fairly well documented. The Yuma Massacre, all of that actually happened. And McCarthy researches all of that very well. And that gives it a great sense of time and place. Both in Blood Meridian and in All the Pretty Horses and The Crossing, you also have the same sense of time and place. When you are in Mexico, they speak in Spanish. You will have to look up the words if you want to know what's going on. I don't think you actually need to do that in Blood Meridian because you are following from the perspective of the kid, who also does not understand Spanish. So the kid doesn't know what the judge is talking with the general about. And so neither perhaps do you. But in the Border trilogy, the characters in All the Pretty Horses that you're following, John Glady and Lacey Rawlins, and also Billy Parkins in The Crossing, they speak Spanish, and so you're supposed to understand what they're saying. They speak Spanish in Mexico. You use the Spanish words for some of the key phrases that are in there. So in Mexico, you use words, the Mexican words for cattle and ranch and cowboy and so on and so forth. So that all gives it a great sense of authenticity. Right. The only, I would say, exception to that, where his writing style is significantly different, is, actually there are two exceptions to that, but the first one I want to talk about is The Orchid Keeper. And The Orchid Keeper is McCarthy's first novels, and it was the third novel from McCarthy that I read. It is part of his so-called Tennessee novels, the 4 novels that he wrote before he moved to Texas. The other ones being Outer Dark, Child of God, and Suttree. And at this point in time, especially in The Orchid Keeper, he was heavily influenced by Faulkner, and this is very Faulknerian in its language. It skips in time, and it's not very. I found it way more difficult to read and understand actually than Blood Meridian, and I didn't appreciate it as much, I have to say. But I will reread it at a later point when I hopefully is more able to appreciate it. But his writing style can be very different. If you take Blood Meridian, and as we talked about, the eloquent prose, the long sentences, the archaic words, the very, very sort of drawn out, sometimes overwritten sentences, is very particular to Blood Meridian. The second novel I read from Cormac McCarthy was The Road. I don't have that with me here because it was actually a book I borrowed from my brother. The Road is a polar opposite. The Road, it is terse, it is concise, it is just very, very short sentences to the point, except for when we are talking about the landscape, that still gets a very, very elaborate treatment. But the dialogue, the plot development, everything is going on in a sort of very fragmented, short and concise way. Totally different in Blood Meridian, but equally engaging. So McCarthy is able to tailor his writing style and his language to the type of story that he is telling. The writing style in The Road is perfectly suitable for this dystopian nightmare of a situation that is going on, and it just, for me at least, it hooked me just as much as Blood Meridian did, but for slightly different reasons. And why is that? What is it with the writing style that makes it so engaging? I think there are a few things that are happening. When McCarthy uses very, very long sentences and archaic words and esoteric language, it means that you as the reader have to concentrate and focus a lot. So he forces your attention to the page. You are not able to read Blood Meridian while you are sort of, walking around the house and doing other stuff or thinking about other things. You will simply miss everything that is going on. So he forces your attention and he keeps your attention on the page. And his use of archaic words is doing the same thing. In The Crossing last night, there was a particular sentence where McCarthy writes something in the line of blood and blood's Alcahest. And when I read that, I thought to myself, what is Alcahest? So I had to look up that word, and I found out that Alcahest is a term used in medieval alchemy as the theoretical universal solvent that sort of predates chemistry, right? So in medieval times, when scientists were obsessed with trying to convert composites into different materials, ideally gold, there was a theory around a universal solvent, Alcahest, that would be able to basically decompose any material that it was used in, including gold. And then I was thinking to myself, why did he use that word? So it forces me as the reader to really engage and think about what he is writing and why he's using the words he's doing. Sometimes I do suspect that McCarthy uses archaic words a little bit for the fun of it or for the effect, but that effect is also very impactful. Because when we read things, when we read words and sentences that we have read many times before, our eyes just glance over it and our mind connects the dots and our consciousness is not fully present and fully engaged. But when we read very, very long sentences where we have to sort of double back and check what is going on and how does this word relate to that word and so on and so forth, and we read words we don't understand, we are present and we are engaged and we are concentrated on what we are doing. And I think that is actually the key secret to why it is so incredibly engaging to read Cormac McCarthy's novels. What it also does, in particular in Blood Meridian, is that it just pushes the boundaries for language. It is an extreme novel. Everything in Blood Meridian is extreme. And it is, you can say it's the ultimate Western or the ultimate anti-Western. You can argue for both. Maybe it is both. But it just pushes every known, way of looking at a novel to an extreme end. And on top of that, you can add the most terrifying and engaging character that has maybe ever been written, which is of course Josh Holden. And then on top of that, you can include all the similes and all the metaphors and all the thematics, all the references with the overall theme of Blood Meridian. So the Milton-esque, references to Paradise Lost and Holden as a satanic figure, or the Faustian references from Goethe's Faust to a deal with the devil that Judge Holden is also referring to when he talks about how he got, Glanton and the kid out of jail, and that a deal was made, and therefore he sees the kid as having betrayed that deal due to his clemency for the heathens. All of that put together with this writing style just makes for an incredible read. The Crossing that I'm currently reading is in some ways quite different than All the Pretty Horses. It is slow. It's certainly a slower pace. It's a more ethereal, dreamlike narrative. It is not so much about an adventure or coming of age story, even though there are quite a lot of similarities between John Glady and Billy Parker. But the key point so far, I'm about 140 pages in, is really this natural world versus human world, and this, you know, juxtaposition between the beauty of nature, the beauty of animals, the beauty of the wolf in this case, and the bond that Billy Parker shares with the wolf, which is just written in an incredibly eloquent and beautiful way. And I don't know anything about wolves, and until recently I didn't care anything at all about wolves, but I am very sympathetic to the she-wolf in The Crossing, and I'm just very, very engaged and very emotionally invested in the outcome of this wolf's destiny, and therefore it was also quite a blow when I read what happened after about 120 pages. So I can't wait to read the rest of this book, and I will read Cities of the Plain next year. I plan to read all of McCarthy's work. It's one of the authors that I will focus on also in 2025. Yeah, if by any chance you have not read anything from him yet, I highly recommend that you seek him out. I started with Blood Meridian because I wanted to read this book more than anything else. I didn't know if I was going to like it, but the best entry point is probably Old Pretty Horses. That is much more accessible. Whatever you do, don't start with the Orchard Keeper, I would say. Yeah, other than that, you can't really go wrong. Okay, that is kind of what I wanted to say. Share my thoughts on what makes him so engaging and what makes his writing style unique, and why I think it works. And I hope it was beneficial to you, and feel free to share any input or any insights or questions or comments that you have. And yeah, I'll be happy to talk to you in the comments. Thank you.